started learning security, right? Security. So what was security? Security was a practice to protect the assets. IT related assets we are using to protect. IT related assets we are able to protect. And under the security, we came to know the security goal. The security goal was CIA triad. C for confidentiality, I for integrity, and A for availability. Confidentiality means data should be protected, it should be safe, and integrity means it should not modify the temper in the middle or while transferring. Availability means if an authorized user wants to access, the user can access. This we have seen under the goal, and then we started going ahead with the phase of security life cycle. Phase of security life cycle. Basically, throughout the security life cycle, how we are going to protect the assets. So the first one was prevention, and second was your detection, and third one was response, fourth one was analysis. So out of it, prevention used to be the first line of defense. Prevention, we used to set up, we used to take a proactive decision, and we used to apply the security measures on the assets. And before the threat comes, we used to apply the prevention. Under the prevention, we have gone through what all are the strategy that we are following to protect the assets under the prevention. So we have seen layered strategy where we were having perimeter layer, and then network layer, and then system layer, and then server layer, and then data layer, right? After the data layer, let's say when it comes to authorization, and authentication, under the same, or you can say under the prevention itself, we are also using identity management. We are also using identity management in the prevention itself. So basically, we are going to start identity management, and we will try to see here basically what exactly the identity management under the prevention. So this was the basic things that we have covered so far, and now we are entering into the identity management. So what will be the agenda today? Under the identity management, we'll try to understand what exactly the identity management is, and we'll discuss about how the authentication works, what type of authentications factors we do have, and we will be seeing about few tools, services which will support your identity management. Some tools we will be seeing which will help us to do the identity management. So this is again security life cycle. We are still under the prevention, and inside the prevention we do have identity management, which is going to be the last. So we have started with the network hardening, system hardening, data security, and now we are learning the identity management. PKI we'll see after this. So these all are the phases of your security life cycle, which we are learning. Out of it, we are learning the prevention for now. So let's see what exactly the identity management. So let's say, for example, when you create an email ID, let's say when you create an email ID of Gmail. So basically what happens, you will be getting your email ID plus password, right? And this will be your identity. Basically this will be your identity. Now this identity will get authenticated once you will log into Gmail. And once this authentication means the password will be valid, then you will be able to get the access. So basically it is the active administration of subject. Subject means anyone can take the permission, either a person or any application or anything can take the permission are object and their relationship regarding access permissions, right? So it's all about permissions. Identity management means once you will be having the identity, then only you can get some permission. It will ensure that identities receives appropriate access. Identity will receive appropriate access to your resource, and it ensure that system remains scalable in granting access to resources, right? So it's so simple to understand. Let's say this is the server of Gmail. There is one user. This user is here with the email and password. Now through a browser, this user will give this email and password here, and it will again get authenticated from the server. And then if the user is having valid authentication, user can access the email. So generally before giving the permissions, we are creating the identity. Before giving the permissions, we are creating the identity. For example, there is one example that has been given of a retail store. So in retail store, we do have cashier, we do have security, we do have manager. And everybody's will be having different tasks, and they do have different type of access. Let's say when we talk about cashier, so what is the task cashier do generally they do? So they used to receive and exchange payment for a retail store, and they will be having the access of cash register by using a badge. So that badge can be their authentication, and by using that authentication they can confirm their identity, and they can access the cash register, and then they can receive and exchange the payment. Like the same security guard at the retail store, they will just protect it against the criminal activity, and they will be having the access of front and back of building. Then we do have manager. Manager will supervise the store operations and some quality control, and he will be having access of cashier, building, and everything. So basically, these all are the task, and these all are the permissions. Access is nothing but permission. Permission. For doing this task, a person need this permission, and which will verify this is the actual person, that is authentication. And while creating this role is identity only. Are you able to understand, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so see, identity management basically works on a principle. In that principle we used to call triple A principle. Triple A principle, or you can call it as a authentication, authorization, and accounting. These three part basically under security is very important, and this is only the primary principle of identity management. Let's talk about first one, authentication. So authentication is all about providing a valid proof that the user is the correct user. User is the correct user. It is a proof. Let's suppose generally in companies, company used to give some authentication keys also. Authentication keys also they used to give. So if you come in the company, or your ID card, let's say your ID card, if you are going in a company, on the gate you will be keeping your ID card, then only you will be able to enter. Like your metro card also. So these all are the authentication stuff. Let's say there is one device comes for authentication, you might have heard about it, that is YubiKey. Are you able to see the screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
this
sir.
is one hardware authentication device. This is made by Ubico, and you can use it to authenticate a user. This key you can use it to authenticate a user. So if user will keep this in the computer, then only the computer will get open, or your PC will get open by using this UB key, right? Like your Metro card, it is also having NFC. Your Metro card is also having NFC. So this is one authentication method. This is one authentication method which will provide the proof that you are the actual user. And then second one is authorization. Authorization is all about the permission. Let's say it is all about the permission. So if a valid user is there, authentication means valid user, authorization means permission. If a valid user is there, so what kind of permission that valid user is having? A valid user cannot have all the permission. The valid user will be having a limited permissions, right? And then we do have accounting. So accounting is all about collecting the data, collecting collecting the user related data and doing some auditing. You can use logging access, you can use some commands, and basically it's all about the data which will be generated from authentication, authorization. So you will be able to measure the data by using this accounting concept. And this is the concept of AAA. And we'll move further now. Shall we move further, guys?
Yes, sir.
So it is telling us login process. So by using the same principle in the company, generally we used to log in. And for authentication, as you can see, it has been given a very simple example so that you can easily remember. So it is telling us, if you talk about identification, it is all about something that the visitor must prove. And authentication means something can be verified or validated. Authorization means specific access according to role and level. And accounting is another, or you can say, a way to track the users or visitors with the log. Authentication is all about something you have that can be your password, something you have, something you know that is your password, something you have your card, like your UB card again, something you are means it may be your biometric or it can be your Retina. So these all are the factors of authentication, and by using these factors you can confirm, you can validate your identity. As you can see, you can further control access by using multiple factor of authentication, or you can verify the identity of a user, process, or device. These all are the authentication factor. By using this factor, you can easily prove that, you can easily validate that you are the actual user. And under the authentication, we are having a concept of multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication means, let's say, one extra layer of authentication. For example, let's say you are having your email plus password to authenticate, but one more you will add here. It can be your, let's say, any application kind of Google Authenticator, right? Google Authenticator you can use. And once you will log in, it will ask one OTP, and that OTP will come into Google Authenticator, and once you will keep it, you will be able to log in. In AWS root account, in AWS IAM account, both support the multi-factor authentication. So you can enable multi-factor authentication, so that without confirming that the both of the authentication, both of the validation, we cannot log in. Something you know, as you can see here the example, something you know, it can be your password or PIN. So if you know something, you will try to log in into the server, and then server will verify through the database, and if it is correct, then you will be able to get the access. And these all are the examples of authentication factor: smart card, certificate, token, USB key, keys, virtual card, TAN number, smartphone, multi-factor authentication. The next part under the same is authentication factor, which something you are. That was something you know. Now it is something you are. So it is talking about fingerprint reader, retinal scanner, facial recognition. And this entire thing comes under something you are. It's all about the human human body part which can be used to validate, like it can be your fingerprint, hand geometry, retina, facial, iris, and signature analysis. These entire things will come under the something you are. Something you know means password, something you are means these things. So guys, let's say if we are accessing, if we are accessing our personal details, if we are accessing our personal details, so for accessing the personal detail, there is a compliance, there is a compliance, there is a guideline, there is a rule, you can say. And that rule has been given into PII, which we used to call personally identifiable information. And any data that can be used to uniquely identify an individual, that thing you can use. Either it can be government identification number, name, date of birth, billing address, phone number, fingerprint, and email account number. These all are the PPP, personal identifiable informations, right? This we used to call personal identifiable info. So for personal identification info, there are multiple compliances, rules are there in different countries that you all have to follow, as HIPAA is one of the example of it. Then we do have password policies. Guys guys, are you listening me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
So the next one is password policy. So when it comes to the lab of AWS, so the first lab we will be doing of password policy. So what exactly the policy? As you all know, policy is the document of permission. Policy is the documents of permissions, where you can give one permission or more than one permission. You can give one permission or more than one permission under the policy. And if that policy you are using for password related, then you will be calling it is password policy. Now whenever we are making a password policy, it means that this policy will be applied to everyone. And password policy, generally we are giving, let's say, 12 character, capital letter is mandatory, small letter is mandatory, your age of the password is mandatory, and multi-factor authentication you can use, kind of it you can use under the password policy. So our first lab will be based on the password policy under the AWS. Password policy means you can create your own password basically, so that the user will log in, and user has to use the same password as a user you are creating. Let's say generally the password used to be of 8 digit or sometime 12 digit. Rather than using 812, you can use 11 digit, or you can use, let's say, 20 digit password. And in 20 means character, you can use capital letter mandatory, small letter, a number, special character. These all you can keep. That is nothing but your password policy. So there is something called dictionary attack, guys. Let's say your password is, let's say I'm writing my password is Durga at the rate cloud. So let's say somebody, as a hacker attacker, they will try to guess my password. So they will think about me like, maybe my name is this, so I'll be using this Durga, and then at the rate, and then some number, or AWS you can try, and then you can use cloud here, and then at the rate Durga here. Like that you will be having multiple attempts basically. So you will be having a dictionary related to those words, and after that you will try checking it one by one, maybe one you may be getting the correct password once. That kind of attack is dictionary attack, when the person is trying to guess your password by using so many uh, characters related to your password only. Then we do have tools and services here, guys. So basically we do have password managers, which will operate a centralized authentication system. It will help you into the login step. It will allow the password reset, and you will be getting a place from where you will be able to manage the specific credentials, and you will store your personal password on a local system as well. So basically, let's say this is your web server, and sorry, this is the machine from where you are connecting with this web server, and here it is AA, so means authentication, authorization and accounting. So in this server you will be able to set up the password, security question, password reset, permitted services, that we used to call domain controller. So you will be able to manage the users from there only. We will be seeing in detail once we'll be doing the lab. Then here we do have group accounts. So here it is telling us do not use the group account, right? You need to check with respect to the individual permissions, who rather assigning the permission to the groups, group 1, group 1, group 1, like that. What we can do is we can have individual user, we can assign the permission to them, right? And we do have SSO, guys. So it's all about a place where your entire password will be stored, and everything you will be able to access through the SSO. SSO is single sign-on. The password are synchronized between two independent systems. Common trusted login credentials are used across systems. System remains independent. Systems are not in trust relationship and do not belong to the same directory structure. So the concept of single sign-in is, let's say you do have Gmail, right? You have Gmail account. It means that you do have email ID of Gmail plus you do have password. These two info you do have. Now by using this credential, not only Gmail you are able to access, you will be able to access Drive, Google Photos, Google Contacts, so many things, right? So related to the same, you are having the access of everything by using the same credentials. Like the same, if you are having multiple application, let's say these all are the applications, multiple applications, right? So by using SSO, a user identity will be created, and a user can use the same identity to log in into multiple devices or application. But without SSO, everything will be having different password. Got it, guys?
Yes, sir.
SSO,
Sir, can you
single
repeat
sign-on.
again?
Single sign-on is all about you will be having a single identity and single password to authenticate, and everything will be authenticated from a single place. Like the same, AWS is having one service called AWS Single Sign-On. It is a cloud-based service that will help you to centrally manage the SSO of all the AWS accounts, including user permissions and AWS organizations, right? We will be discussing about the organizations in detail, so no need to worry. And here, this SSO will be having multiple features. One-click access of AWS accounts and applications you can access. You will be having ability to create users and group, and then common cloud applications. You can also set up IAM user roles and policies here by using SSO. And then we do have federated user. It is a form of a single sign-on. One account is used for multiple service. That is, that user, you will be calling it as a federated user. A user is authenticated to a system. The user will obtain a token from the system, and after that, user can try in multiple system to log in. Like the same, one more service of AWS that we do have here is Amazon Cognito. This service will provide users user management, authentication, and authorization for your web and mobile application. Let's say if you are having mobile application or web application, so if you need to get some authentication management or user management or authorization management, then you can use the Cognito. So you can use Amazon Cognito by signing in with a username and password through the third party website. These all we will be performing so that you can easily understand, guys, in the lab. And then we do have AWS IAM. We will be talking about AWS IAM in detail. So this is the end of this document, guys. Now we'll start with the IAM. The next one is AWS IAM. So this Casey you can do, not now, after this, after completing these documents. Okay. So guys, let's start with the AWS IAM. And this part is really important for everybody. Guys, everybody, please focus. If you are able to hear me, please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So we are going to start AWS IAM. AWS IAM. And as you all know, AWS IAM stand for Identity and Access Management. So first of all, identity means we will create one identity, and then that identity can subject to a user, or that identity can subject to any object, or that identity can subject to any service or resource. So when we talk about IAM, guys, so let's start from starting itself. Once you will use your card, that can be your credit card or debit card, if you create AWS account, so that account of AWS used to be root account or IAM account.
Root account, sir.
It used to be root
Root
account. Are
root
you
account.
sure, guys?
Yes, sir.
Everybody?
Yes, sir. Like
Okay. So once you create by using your credit card, debit card, that account we used to call root account. That we used to call root account. And let's say you have created the root account of AWS. Once you will log in to the AWS management console, let's say this is your console. Once you log in by using this root account, here inside the AWS account, if you are creating within one AWS account, if you are creating user, right, user, so this user you will be calling it as a IAM user. Now let's say you have created the user by the name of user1. So this root user will decide what permission, what access can be given to this user1. What access user1 should have of this AWS account. Let's say root user can give the access to this user1 of S3 or EC2 This user can read only EC2, or this user can write EC2, means can modify EC2, or can have full access of EC2, can create virtual machines. So that we used to call user, right? And if you do have multiple user, let's say if you do have user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5, and these all users are looking for same permission. Let's suppose they belongs from same permissions requirement. They all
So we
need
can create
the access of S3. So rather than giving permission individual, you can create one IAM user group. You can call them as a IAM user group. Once you will use IAM user group, so here you have to give only one permission to this group, and now these permissions will be given to each member of the group. Clear, guys?
yes, sir.
And then let's say uh, let's say you have created IAM user. You have given the name of user as user1, and you have created a group also called DEV. This is the group you have created. This user is the member of this group, and in this group now you will add the permission. When we say permission, means you will attach the policy. Policy will be written into JSON language. This policy will contain one or more than one permissions here. Let's say a group can use S3 service. If this permission you will attach as a policy to this group, so the member of this group, user 1, will be able to access the S3. And if you have created already resource, means S3 already you have created one, so you can assign the name of S3 subject to this user, so that particular user will be able to access that S3. And then in the same we do have a concept of role. Role means, let's say if any service or resource need permission, if any service or resource needs any kind of permission, then let's suppose EC2 wants to access S3. So you will create a role, you will add the permission of S3, and then this role you will attach to the EC2. So EC2 will be able to access S3. So this role means, again it is again a kind of subject. Role is just like a user. As user is having permission, like the same role is also having permission. Role directly you can attach with the any resource or service. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
So in AWS, when we say IAM, identity and access management, we are seeing four things. First is user, second is group, third is role, fourth one is policy. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Anyone is having any doubt in these four options?
No, sir. Like, I'm not.
Okay, clear. Next part, if you see into the same, let's say this is within the AWS account, within one AWS account, within one AWS account. Within one AWS account, what you can do? You can create one user, or you can create a group, or you can create a role, or you can create a policy. By using these four, you are managing the users, groups, roles, and policies. By creating these fours only, you are going to manage the permissions and everything. This user is all about identity. Identity. This group is again group identity. Role is all about resource based role or service based role. Policy is all about permission. Permission, right? So this policy you can use to authorization purpose, and this is identification purpose within one AWS account. Out of AWS account, let's suppose you have a company. Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
sir.
Let's say you have a company. Now this company is having multiple AWS root account. Multiple AWS root account, right? So in the multiple root accounts, now managing these users permission used to be difficult. So there is a concept of organization. These organizations will be your top, or you can say it will be your root. This will be your root. From here other branches will start. Let's say we used to call OU, organizations unit. Multiple OU you can create here, right? And then within this OU you can create another OU, or you can use AWS root account here. And again here you can create, let's say, one AWS root account. Here you can keep one OU, one more OU, and then here you can keep AWS account, here AWS account, here AWS account. So multiple in organization unit, you can have multiple AWS account also. So guys, organization is all about collectively, if we are using multiple root account, so inside the individual accounts, who should have what kind of permission, that should be controlled by using service control policy. That policy we used to call HCP, service control policy. And within this policy, each AWS accounts billing, each AWS accounts informations, permissions, everything centrally you can manage under a control tower. There is a service called control tower, AWS control tower, right? So both are there within one AWS account. Also you can create user group role policies. And without means if you do have multiple root accounts, you can create multiple OUs. Let's say these OUs you can give permission of EC2. So all these account will be having permission of EC2. This will be having the service control policy of S3, so they will have the access of S3. Like the same, you can add the permission you will be adding up by using the service control policy. In consolidated billing, in the centrally everything will manage under a control tower. And that is why the multiple AWS account will be managed under the organizations. I hope it is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Deepak, you
Sir,
have any question?
yes, sir. Like, I'm having a question regarding like why the organization have the multiple accounts. Uh, like we have the group and role-based policies, right? So we can create the role-based, like front-end engineer comes in and they needs some front-end stuffs. So we can create a group of front-end engineer, or we can create a backend as well. So why there is a need for different account within our organization?
Not within the organization. Let's say if you do have multiple, let's say multiple division of your company. right? Multiple division of your company. Let's say one complete division is working on what do you say, some product. One division is working on completely on service, one completely working on manufacturing, let's say something like that. Multiple division, let's say you do have. So if you will be creating within within a single account, everything you will be creating, so everything's billing will be coming to one account only. And sometime it used to be difficult to calculate with respect to the division of companies, with respect to the branches of the company. Let's say for example, TMF, Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra is having two department, right? One is having let's say development, and one is having testing department, and one is having training department, one is having HR department. So these multiple departments they do have. For each department, let's suppose there is one account, right? One account for each department. So for one account, how much bill came? So this will go to the development, because the billing in AWS will come based on the services, based on the product, whatever we do have. But if you will do like this, then the billing will come per account, right? And if you will collectively consider as organization, so in each organization, account number one got this bill, account number two got this bill, kind of it is helpful with respect to the pricing, with respect to using multiple regions and multiple locations of the company.
Got the idea, sir.
So let's see the same thing here into the document now. IAM guys, as you can see, it is here. What is IAM? So centrally you can manage authentication and access to the AWS resources and use a feature of AWS account at no charge. Means IAM is not chargeable. It's a free. You can create user group roles, policies also. So by using the policies, you can control the permissions, you can control the authorizations. Then here you can see IAM, IAM account. So if you are user, if you are creating IAM account, let's say IAM user you are creating here. So you can give granular permission. Granular permission means list permission. List permission. Let's say you have created a S3 bucket. In S3 bucket, user can have the permission to uh, read only, not write, only read. User can only read the data. Kind of it granular permission you can give. Secure access for your applications, and it will be much enough secure for your application. Why? Because you will be using some policy to give the permissions. Then we do have identity federation also. Identity federation is all about, let's say if you need to log into the AWS, you can log in by using Google account, you can log in by using Facebook account, like Instagram account, like that. Twitter account you can log in. So federation means by using one account you can log into another account, and you can integrate with your other AWS services. And if you talk about root user will be having full access permission of all the resources. Privileges cannot be controlled, it will be controlled by AWS. Whatever the permissions, whatever the resources, services will be given to you, that you will be able to control only. So here guys, if you talk about security credentials under the IAM, so we are using email address and password to log into the root account. Like the same, you will be having IAM username and password to log in into the root IAM account, but at the same time you need account ID of root account. Because if your IAM user is the part of this root account, so this account ID of this root account you have to use while logging into the IAM user. And then we do have access and secret access. If you need to access by using AWS CLI or SDK API, that time you will be using secret and access key. And then we do have multi-factor authentication. This you can assign in both root user plus IAM user both. And then we do have key pair that we have used. Key pair we have used to authenticate the password for EC2 instance. So for authorizations here, we will be using a policy so that we will be giving the permissions. Here, this is your IAM. It will be looking like this. I'll show you how to do all these things. IAM implementations. You will be using a user, you will be using a group, you will be adding some policies, permissions, and then that permissions, as per permissions, the sorry, as per the permissions means policy, the user will get the access. So two types of policies are there. One is identity based, that we will be attaching it to the Google. Resource based, that we will be giving it by using roles. And this is the policy. So guys, let's talk about the policy, and we'll also see how to create the policy, right? How to create the policy. So if you see this picture, easily you can understand. IAM roles, user, and the picture is here. So see how to write the permission document means policy. So generally it is written into the JSON as a key and value pair. Let's say version is a key and this is the value. Means this is a date of creating the policy. Date of creating the policy. Here you will be keeping the statement means permissions. Effect is all about allow or deny, and what actions means what resource you are using, and on that resource what type of action you want. So as you can see, it is telling us allow. What allow? Actions DynamoDB S3. It means that explicit allow gives user access to a specific DynamoDB table and bucket. So DynamoDB table comma bucket S3 bucket, both specific or S3 uh, bucket. Star means all, you can say all S3 bucket action has been given, and here you are adding up the resource name means all the permissions related this bucket and related this table, you are getting the permission. This is one permission. Second permission, you are deny explicitly for other you can give other table which you can deny. So like that you will be able to write. Once you write, there is a policy generator also. I'll show you in detail, right? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. So I do have one another document if you will see. So IAM concept will be quite simple and easy for you all to understand. Um, 53 database. So guys, if I'll share up the screen, you will come to know one another document of IAM. I'll not take that much time. I'll just try to explain it by using this document so that easily you will be able to understand. So this is again all about IAM. So here we'll discuss about the key feature, policies, users, role, group, and best practice, right? So as you all know, the feature like you will be having shared access to your AWS account. Means what all are the resources, services you do have, you can access to other user. You do have granular permission. Granular permission means least privilege you can give to the user. You do have secure access to AWS resources because other resources will be secured, because whatever resource you want to give, that only you can give. It is also having identity federation, identity information in PCI DSS for payment related card, password policies, and multi-factor authentication. These things we do have. Shared access, for example, let's suppose this is the root user. These all are the IAM user. These users we are keeping in the groups. These three user is having permission about EC2 and S3. These user is having permission only about S3. These users are having permission about RDS and S3. Right? These kind of things we are able to see into this. We are sharing up the access to the users and groups here. Right? Like this. Okay. Next is your granular permission. Granular permission means, let's say these all are the users. These all are the users. They are not having the access of full volume. They will be having read write access to this volume. In other stuffs are not having permissions here also. Means a specific service, a specific permission, and a specific resource should be accessed by that permission. That is granular permission. Next one is your secure access. So you will be able to access securely from applications. This is Identity Federation. You can log in into the AWS IAM by using Facebook, Active Directory, Google. And identity information, the entire informations will be stored. As you can see this picture speaks a lot. This is the root user and this is IAM user. Now these two user is having the permission of few things, means their activity will be recorded under the cloud trial. This admin user will be also recorded in the cloud trial. This entire activity owner will be the root user. He can keep into the S3 bucket and he can check also who is doing what. So for cloud trial, basically it is again a service to track the activity of the user, right? And this is multi-factor authentication, and this is the password policy. Password policy is all about how much strong password policy you are making, how much strong password policy you are making, so that it can be avoided from the dictionary attack. And we will start the lab hereafter. So guys, right now which we are going to learn is identity and access management. So first of all, we'll click on services. We'll access the security, identity, and compliance. And after that, we will be moving into IAM. Or you can also search IAM directly from the top of it. You can search IAM here and it will bring you here itself, right? IAM. So in IAM, you have to learn users, you have to learn groups, you have to learn role, you have to learn policies, identity providers, and password policy, right? Okay, so the first thing which we are going to do here is password policy. So you all are on the same screen, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if you click on account setting, just click on account settings. So in the account setting, you will be getting the password policy. Under the password policy, you can configure the password which you do required for your IAM user. So in that, as you can see, these all are the policy. In the policy, it has been written the password minimum length should be 8 character. It should have upper, lower, number, alphanumeric, and it when to expire. Like that, the entire detail has been given. Now, once you click on edit option, you will be able to change your policy. So IAM default is this one. You can create a custom password policy. So guys, you see it is asking what should be your password, how many character length of your password you should add here. So you can say in between of 6 to 128. So let's say I'm clicking here and I'm adding 11 character. The password should be of 11 character, right? And then it should have at least one uppercase, one lowercase, one number, one special character. And you can also give some other requirement like uh, when to turn on when to password should get expire, and who will set up the password or allow user to change their password, kind of it, any one of it or multiple options you can select, right? So this is how you will be setting up the password policy, and after setting it you can save the changes, and once you will create the user, the same password policy will be applied to any user. So we'll just create the password policy now. We'll save this. 11 character we have saved it. Clear?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Next we'll go to the users. We'll click on the users and you can see there are few users has been created, right? Three user 1, user 2, user 3. It has been created for lab purpose. Here we do not have permission to create the user in this lab. So they have already created some user for you, and you need to do the practice within those users only. But how your password policy will get enforced to the user, you will be seeing once you will click to create user. We will create only, means we'll give the name, but it will not create, right? Let's say I'm giving my name as a username, and I also want that I should have the AWS management console access. This user I am creating as a IAM user. Now here you can see the password policy has been applied. If you are using auto generated, it's okay. If you will use custom, here your password must be 11 character long, at least one letter upper, one lower, one number, one special character. So basically the password policy is getting enforced here while creating the user, right? Are
Sir,
you
this
getting,
policy
guys?
is what we have made, no, sir?
Come.
This was the specification what we have made recent, no, sir? Policy?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you go back and if you change it, let's say if leave the page, go back to account setting, edit this and make it like 12 character, right? Now we made it 12 character and we don't required number, let's say. Save this and now go back to the users. Let's create the user. Let's give the same name and select this box. So what it is showing must be 12 character long. A number line is not having here, right? Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So here you can give the password in 12 character. Let's say I'll just write uh, cloud @durga, and this is the 565. Let's add, this is 12 character now, right? This will be my password, and I want that once user will log in, then user needs to create a new password for the user. If you want that user should create the new password, then you can check this box. Either you can leave it, right? So we have checked it out. Let's like this. So the same password user has to use now. We'll click on next. Now under this, once user you are going to create, here you can directly add the permission to the user. As you can see, add to the group option has been given. You can add this user to any group, or else you can copy the permission, or you can directly attach any policy to the user. So let's say if we directly attach a policy to this user of EC2, let's say EC2, EC2 full access we will be giving to this user, right? Are you getting? This is the policy, guys. This is the policy. Attach directly the policy, right? And then you will click on next. It means that this user which I am creating by the name of Durga, this user will get the permission of EC2 as a full EC2 permission, right? Full permission that user will get, and then you can easily click to create the user. So once you will click to create the user, you will be getting the username and whatever the password you have used, and simply you will be able to log in. Simply you will be able to log in. So there are already few users. There are already few users which has been created for our lab purpose. User 1, user 2, user 3. So let's say if I'll open the user 1, the name of user is user 1 and the password has been given to you. Password has been given, but this user is not having any permission. As you can see, this user is not having permission. Once we click on user and if we open this user, in the permission list there is no policy. There is no policy. Then if you need to add any permission, you can click here, you can add permission directly, right? Or you can send this user to any group. That group part we will be seeing after this user. Okay, so if you need to log in, guys, if you need to log in as a user 1, let's say, so here it is our user. We'll click on the user, and here you can see under the security credential tab, this is the link which has been given to login. This is the link which has been given to you for login, or else on the right corner you can get this account ID. By using this account ID you can log in, or else by using this URL you can log in. So let's suppose if you want to log in as a user 1, so I'll use incognito window. Incognito, why? Because in one machine, in one browser, two AWS account you cannot log in. So either or, what I can do is, either or I can just copy this link and I can paste it here, right? So it will immediately ask only the username and password. See, account ID is coming here automatically, right? Automatically account ID is coming, or else directly you can also type aws.amazon.com, means you can just sign in here. Once you will sign in, so here you can you will sign in as IAM user. So you will be providing this account ID from this account. Let's say this is your account ID. You can copy this and you can come and you can paste here, and then the username is user-1, and the password has been given to us in the lab page itself in IAWS details page. If we click here, we used to get the password, or in the document generally you can also get the password. In this document they have given the password also for us. So the password for user 1, user 2, user 3 they have added, right? And we will be able to get it now. So the for the user number 1, the password is lab password 1. This is the password for user number 1. So what we can do is simply we can paste this password and we can sign in. See, it is working to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Working, guys.
Yes, sir.
So you all are able to sign in. But in this, you will not have any permission to access. Let's say if you go to compute EC2, you will not have any permission to access anything. Anything. See, everywhere API error is coming. You cannot launch even instance. This option is coming only, but while launching it will see you are not authorized to perform any operations. If you go to S3 also, you don't have any permissions. You will not have permission till the time the root user will not give any permission. Let's say create bucket. These options are coming, but again access denied will be coming. So now if you need to allow that user one can do something, so you need to go back to the root account. This is the root account, and in the root account, if you visit the user one, in the user one, what you can do is you can open the user one, and in the permission part, you will be adding the permission. Let's say I am adding a permission here directly of EC2 full access. EC2. But again, the permission issues will be coming. We have to use only pre-created stuff. See, permission issue is coming, right? So we cannot add any permission directly to this. Why? Because of this lab permission. So what we can do is we'll move to the next from the user to group, and after that we'll apply some policies. So whenever you are keeping multiple, let's suppose you want that multiple users should have the same kind of permission. Multiple users should have the same kind of permission. So for that you will be creating the group here. That group is user group, and they have created 3 group also for you, and they have added some permission to each group. Let's say when you open EC2 admin, so this group they have created, and in this group they have given one permission. They have given one permission, and this permission is this one, EC2 admin policy. So if you open this policy, you will be able to see what permission has been given. This group can describe EC2. This group can start the instance. This group can stop the instance. That's it. In this permission, we have mentioned it clearly. So if within this group, which is EC2 admin, there is no user. So what we can do? We can add the user one to this group. If we add user one to this group, then user one will be the member of this group EC2 admin, and this user will also get the permission called EC2 admin policy. Now this user can start and stop the machine. So now if you go back to this, if you search here EC2 in your IAM account, this is IAM account, you can check it out here. User 1, you can see user 1, this is IAM account user 1, and we are using US West to Oregon. So in that region, if you go change the region to Oregon, now here you will be having permission to see the machine. See, you have this web server machine, right? It's visible, and you can stop this machine also because user 1 is having the permission. User 1 is having the permission to stop this machine. See, it is stopping. But in the root account, if I go in this root account, and if I remove, let's say, if I remove this user 1 from this list, user 1, I'll remove from this list, from this group. It means that again what will happen? This user will not have permission for anything. This user will not have any permission. Now this user cannot start the instance. It will show permission issue. See, permission issue is coming. But if I'll go back again and in the same if I'll add the same user one again to this group, now if I'll go and if I'll restart this machine, so I will be able to start it because now I got the permission. Clear, guys? Is it clear
Yes,
to
sir.
everybody?
Yes,
Sir,
sir. It's clear.
if we add two users, we can get two web services, sir.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
100%.
Oh,
So let's do that also. So for example, in the same group where we do have permission for EC2, we will add one more user. So what we will do is we will add user 2 also in the same group. Added. Now what you will do, you will log in to user 2, new incognito window, and you will log into user 2. So again aws dot amazon.com and sign in to the console, and we will sign in as a user 2 this time. Sorry, need to in incognito only one account it is coming, user one account, right? So we need to use another browser for it. So we will be using this one, aws dot amazon.com. Here we'll sign in to AWS account. By mistake I clicked on sign up. So yeah, so guys, here you have to give 12-digit account ID. So this is your admin account, this is your root account. We'll copy this and here we'll paste. User name is user2 and password will be sorry, password I did not copy the password. I have copied, but yeah, for lab 2 the password will be 2 in the last, right? 2 in the last. So here we'll paste and we'll see, we'll make it 2 and sign in. So this user 2 also can access EC2 instance, right? If we go to change the region to Oregon, and because this user is also into the same group. So now if you go to EC2, this user is having permission to view the running machine, stop the running machine, and start the running machine. I hope it is visible to you all, right?
yes, sir.
And like the
Yes,
same,
sir.
let's say, like the same, let's suppose you want to use the admin user. This is our admin user only. And in the admin user, let's suppose you want to check with other groups. So we'll go to the groups. Other group is S3 support. So in S3 support, let's say in S3 support group, if we add the user, you can add multiple user to that group also, or if you want that user 2 should be the member of group 2 which is S3 support, and when we check the permission of it, it is having S3 read only permission, means you can see only the bucket and buckets object, you can see only the bucket and bucket objects. For that, who can see? Only user. Who can see, guys? Only user 2 can
Only you are
see.
two, sir.
So user 2 we have logged in by using this browser. So if we search here S3, so the S3, this user can see the bucket also. See, this is one bucket, and in this bucket user can see the object, right? Let's see user is having permission to upload the object or not. So we can try uploading an object first. Let's say images, pictures. Let's say I'm uploading this one and I'm just uploading. See, it is not having permission, right? This permission,
Yes, sir.
upload permission is not there. Only read permission is there. Okay? Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, like the same, like the same, one more thing will be coming here, which is your roles. So the third thing is role. Role basically, we are creating a role also as an identity, guys. And in the role, you will be adding the permission. For example, let's say there is one virtual machine. That virtual machine wants to access RDS database. So we will create a role of RDS and will attach to EC2. Then EC2 will be able to access the RDS. Like that, if you need to add permission, you will be using role. You will be using role. Actually, we don't have permission here, but I can click here to show you. So let's say you have to select the trusted entity, means for which you are creating. So let's say AWS service like S3 EC2. So here you can select the service. So for example, you want to select EC2 should have the access of EC2 should have the access of what? Let's say RDS. So EC2 can access full RDS, Hana. So RDS full you can select and you can move to the next and you can give the name of role for EC2. So what will happen? EC2 in this role directly you can attach to the EC2, right? Once you will attach, the EC2 will be having permission to access the EC2 will be having permission to access the RDS or S3 also you can select. Done, guys? Understand? Is
Yes,
it
sir.
clear?
Yes, sir.
So the last one is policy. How to create the policy. The last one under this is policy. So when we talk about the policies, guys, so policy, see, in the AWS account, you will be having more than 1300 policies which will be created by AWS. Directly you can use. Directly you can use. You can access those policies by clicking on it, and if you open the JSON file you will be able to see, and in the JSON file every permissions will be added here. See, these all permissions has been added. So you can see this one. This is 10 years ago it has been made, and last access policy, JSON permission. It is having so many permissions, so you can open one by one and you can check it. Let's say access analyzer permissions, right? In that if you open this is having all reason because it's so big. Here summary it is showing on the right side of it, JSON is coming, right? So if you need to generate the policy, guys, so if you need to create the policy, what you can do is you can use policy generator, policy editor. You can see this policy editor. You can generate the policy from here by selecting the service. Let's say EC2 should have what permission, add somewhat more permission, full access you can allow from here, and then you can just add all this permission to full access to your EC2, and then next you can create the policy. Simple, right? So basically this is the option wise policy, or you can also write in the JSON language, write in the JSON language. So here version means on which read you are reading, here you will specify this statement, means what permission you are going to give, allow or deny under the effect, an action and resource. Action is all about what type of action you need, list, read, write, edit kind of it, and resource means EC2, S3, whatever resources you do have. So if you do into the Google here, AWS policy generator. So here you can generate the policy also, you can select which policy, the purpose of policy, let's say bucket policy, effect allow. Here you can add the principal, means for all the bucket, if you want to add here star, and then you can take the actions here, few actions you can add whatever permission you need, and if you need to select some specific bucket, you can give the ARN of that bucket, and after that simply you will be able to create the policy, you will be able to generate the policy. You can just add some conditions here, uh, right, and then you can generate, right, some field or uh, so you can generate the resource field, should not be as a number. I'm doing it little bit fast, that's why it's happening like this. So here we have done now add this statement. So from now you can generate the policy. See, this is how the policy will come up. Is it clear, guys, to everybody? And I'll bring tomorrow one account of mine, my AWS account, and I'll show you. I'll show you some examples by that account. I'll create some permissions and role stuff tomorrow to show you in detail. Okay.